my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is part 9 of this unboxing. And this is where I show you all of my heritage wins for the last 2 months. I've won some pretty cool books. When I've been bidding, I've been actually trying not to spend money. Believe it or not, it sounds weird me saying this because you just see all these big books all the time. But what I do is I try to bid very conservatively. Like usually maybe even 20% below fair market value is my max. And so if I win, I know that I've gotten a deal. If I don't win, I'm okay. I kind of, I think, okay, I'll be fine not getting this book. These ones are pretty cool that I've won. And you'll see that I got some pretty cool books that I picked up. So these are going to be all my Heritage Auctions wins. It's actually more than I expected that I've won. So this is over the 2-month period. So it's a fair amount of stuff. I just have to open this first one. It's got a little bit more bag and boarding than I expected. Now, one of the auctions that I won, and I got it for a great price. I totally didn't expect to win this one because I didn't even put in 20% less than fair market value. I put more like 40% below fair market value. And it was a set of three graded pulp books. And I'm not really into pulps for the most part because I find them horrible to read. However, the covers I do really enjoy from pulps. I think they're just amazing. Some of the best covers in comic books are from the pulps. They're just very, very amazing covers. And one of the titles that has a really good set of covers is Planet Stories. Now, Planet Stories would often mimic the covers from Fiction House's Planet Comics, okay? And so this is another Fiction House title. It just would recycle. They would one would come, I'm not sure which came first sometimes, but this is an example of Planet Stories. And it's just like these really great painted covers. You can see that it's a really thick slab. Look how thick that slab is. It's insane. So yes, this is a low grade. I think I picked up 3 slabs for $100. I think that was after the buyer's premium too. I think I bid like $60 or $70, something like that, and then the buyer's premium. So maybe even it was under $100. It was not expensive for 3 slabs. It's just like a really cheap price. Cost of the slabbing is more than that. So this is Fiction House 1943. It's Planet Stories number 16. Cover by Jerome C. Rosen. So just a really cool cover, a bit of a lingerie sci-fi feel to it. And you can see it's a low grade. You can see all the little pieces missing, and you can see like how rough the pulp would have looked like if you had had it. I don't really like pulps for that reason. It's just like they're all brittle and like they're dusty feeling, and just, I don't know. I never liked pulps when they're not bagged and boarded and just like very controlled. But I do love the covers, I have to say. Just amazing covers. So that's the first one. And it was 3 in the total. So let's get the second one out. I believe it was 3. Pretty sure it was 3. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was just 2. No, it was 3. There was 3. Okay, I thought it was 3. I was like, oh, am I mistaken? How could I be mistaken about that? Okay, there's the second one. This one is really bagged and boarded. They used a really huge bag for this one. Oh, it's just in a big bag. I don't know why it's in a big bag like that, but okay. So we got the next one. It's another Planet Stories. I thought it was a beautiful cover. I don't like how they jiggle though. Can you hear that? They jiggle a bit in the case. I shouldn't jiggle it like that, but I'm just saying that it's a bit of a jiggle. So this is Planet Stories number 42, Fiction House 1950. This one is restored, actually. Now I got to explain that, but I'll get into it in a second. So this is covered by Al Anderson. But the interesting thing is, you see, it's a blue label, right? But it actually denotes that it says all three edges trimmed. So in comics, that would mean that it's restored. You know, if you have edges trimmed, that's actually the worst type of restoration because you can't do anything about it. If the edges are trimmed, there's no putting the edges back on. It is restored and you can't unrestore it. Well, with pulps, because pulps were put together in such a way where there was always that overhang, and a lot of the time the edges would kind of bend and after a while fall off even, and get tears and stuff like that, and it would actually cause deeper damage to the book if you actually didn't trim the book, the edges. So CGC, what they did was they would, for pulps, they allow edge trimming. However, they do have it where it does reduce the grade. So generally, like this, if it wasn't trimmed, it would get a slightly higher grade, even with those kind of frayed edges. So that's how they do it with CGC. Now, if you do like color touch or any other types of restoration, they will give you a purple label for pulps. But just with the trimming, they considered it accepted, that it is still a blue label, but they denote it and then they reduce the grade. But still, this is a great cover. I just really love these Planet Story covers. You can see how thick the book is. Actually, the things you look for in pulps in terms of grading are how good is that side binding and how good is the cover, the rest of the cover. Now, you'll notice that because it is trimmed, all the pages are clean compared to that previous one. But just a really great cover, good girl art cover. So that's another fiction house. And then the third one is another Planet Stories. Let's see if I can get it out. Get rid of all this packaging. And this one I believe they actually is a swipe from one of the Planet Stories, Planet Comics covers. So this is Planet Stories number 15, May 1943, and the cover is by Jerome Rosen again. So just another really great good girl cover. The girl dangling from the spacecraft. They're fighting a bunch of aliens, and the guy's got like his, looks like he's got a whip in his hand. I don't know what's going on. Or is that like, I don't know what's going on there. Or maybe it's, oh, maybe it's part of the rope that's coming down that's going to carry him up. I thought it looked like a whip the way at first. Yeah, definitely interesting. He's fighting all these alien guys, punching them. So yeah, it's really cool. So those are the 3 pulps. I don't usually pick up pulps, but I noticed that lately Heritage has been putting pulps before the Golden Age comics in terms of their auction, the way that they display them. And so I've been putting like very minimal bids on these pulps. And there was another one that I actually won as a result of putting just a very minimal bid. But I thought it was a really great cover. Was this one, Super Science number 2, volume 1, number 2. This is from Popular, May 1940. Is a cover by Gabriel Mayo Gorga. Just a really cool painted cover. I just thought the good girl on it was really great with the sci-fi style. I just really like it. So yeah, it's got all these weird tentacles and stuff. I just thought it was a really cool one. Not a bad grade too, like a 4 or 5. Pulps generally are in low grade, just because of the nature of pulps. They just fall apart. But I thought this one was reasonably nice. Now, if you bought these raw, they're going to be way cheaper, just so you know. The graded ones, they are generally inflated in price. Fortunately, I've been noticing when I put bids on them, I put bids based on the raw copy values. So I figure, hey, if I can get it graded for the price of a raw, for free, basically, get the grading for free, and it displays way better. I mean, I love having it in this format rather than the raw. This is one of those times where, you know, I don't know who would want to read Pulps, just because maybe back in the day they'd be fun to read because there's really great stories inside. But now the paper is like usually kind of brittle and not in pulpy. I don't know, but this one is definitely a beautiful cover. And I'll show you the back. They got cigarettes on the back. You know, I can't imagine them getting away with this nowadays. So again, bit of rattle. I don't know if I like the pulp slabs too much, but yeah. But definitely an interesting book. Okay, then we got a raw book, actually. Speaking of raws, this is a title that I was mentioning in a previous video that I've been collecting. Let's take it out of the bag. And we got Dark Mysteries. And this is Dark Mysteries number 9. And it's just a cool skeleton cover. So you get the skeletons and she's on a raft. All the Dark Mysteries have skeletons. It's kind of the thing for the title. They have all these skeleton covers. What is she saying? Please let me go. I don't want to die. I'm not a voodoo princess. Witches feast at dawn. Terror of the voodoo ghouls. It's a pretty cool book. Dark Mysteries number 9. So yeah, very cool. I'm not sure who did the cover, but it's very cool. Okay, this next one is another a restored book, but I always love this one. This one was so cheap. Again, putting in these low bids, seeing what I can win. I always like this one. I never had a copy of this. I do collect the title Nightmare. Some really cool covers within the title. Some Matt Baker actually covers within the title. Just a really cool. I like these beach ones, like these, you know, beach covers with the monster coming out of the surf and attacking the young couple. I think it's really fun. So this is a Ziff Davis publication, and it's Nightmare number 2 from fall of 1952. Restoration is slight. It includes a small amount of color touch on the cover, tear seals to cover, and it's a Walter Pop cover. It's a really great one. I like the bikini as well. So, fall of 1952. It's a very cool one. The Curse of Desire Dream Girl. That's what the title is. Okay. And then there was a lot of raw comics that I won. And it was a lot of Bob Hope raw comics. So I'll show you some Bob Hopes that I won. And these are all like early coded books. So we got Bob Hope number 34. Nice. Looks like she's a female Navy girl. I'll let you read the joke. So, join the Navy and see the world. He's like trying to see her. Okay. And this was the one I really liked from the series. This is Adventures of Bob Hope, again, number 75. A little bit later. This is like probably early 60s. And so it's like he says, "Say, that's quite a bathing suit. I'm glad you like it. I won it at a judo contest." I like it for the judo reference, and also I think it's kind of funny. You know, she's definitely trying to say, "Stay clear of me." So just a really cool cover. So that's early 12th center. Then we got a 10 center. This is from September 1959, and this is another Good Girl art cover. And you know, he's like, pinch me, I must be dreaming, and the guy's about to stab him with a lance. But you see all these girls. Yeah, Bob Hope always had these really amazing good girl covers. And then we got another one that's really nice. It's all these Spanish women. This is Bob Hope number 32. And this was a fairly long-running series, Bob Hope. I think it ran over 100 issues. And then we got Adventures of Bob Hope, number 28. So this is pre-code Bob Hope. Actually, I think the ones after the code are even better. So that's interesting. So yeah, so that was the Bob Hope collection. And then there's one more Raw. Actually, yeah, one more Raw book that I picked up. And this is Top Notch Comics number 28. And so Top Notch Comics is an interesting one. It's like a humor publication, but they also had superheroes in them as well. Now, this is actually the first appearance of Susie, who is a good girl, like one of these good girl characters, and just a classic character. She actually has some really major Grail books for her good girl covers. And I always wanted to get her first appearance. Well, this is her first appearance. I believe that's her right there, Susie. And this is, what does it say? It doesn't say the year. It's kind of, 1942 from LLJ. So the same people that produced Archie produced this book. So it's a really cool one. If you ever want to get Susie's first appearance, this is the book to get. And so the next one, actually the next two books are both restored, but they're both really major books. We got Nickel Comics number 2. This is actually the second appearance of Bullet Man. And I won this for a really great price, so I was quite happy. This one has slight C1 restoration. It's Fawcett Publications, 1940. It's a Jack binder cover. And it's just like, the restoration includes small amounts of glue on spine. That's it. So it's a really minor restoration. This is one of those times where you probably could crack it open, remove the restoration, and still get the same grade. So I like those cases. I don't necessarily go ahead and do that, but I do like the fact that you can remove the restoration if you wanted. And this one is just a beautiful copy, actually. For a 3.0, really presents well. It's quite thick. I'm just amazed by how thick it is. It's almost as thick as the Pulps that I was unboxing. So just a really great one. Bullet Man, character I like. This is his second appearance. Just a fun one. I already have Nickel Comics number 1 as well. So I'm getting a little bit of the series going for Nickel Comics. Okay. And last book that I have to show you. This one's part of a pedigree, a semi-pedigree, and I'll have to explain it a little bit. This is Menace number 5. And this is actually the very first appearance of Marvel's Zombie. Now, Zombie is not the zombie that you might think, like zombies in general, but it is the first appearance of the character known as Zombie. And basically the origin of Zombie is that he was this really obnoxious employer, boss guy, and his employees decide to murder him. Okay, so they murder him, and they, not quite satisfied with the fact that they just murdered their boss. One of the employees, he decides that he will take this body to like a voodoo priestess and bring him back from the dead and have him basically be a zombie. Crazy story. It turns out the voodoo priestess is the boss guy's secretary. and she feels like she actually has some romantic feelings towards her boss. So she kind of protects him and puts the control of the zombie into this amulet that basically can be used to control the zombie. So, and he's like super powerful as a zombie. But this book comes from the Roger, I can't even read it. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can see if I zoom in on it for you. It comes from that pedigree. And I noticed when I bought this, Heritage was doing a bunch of auctions from this same semi-pedigree. It's like from the collection of pedigree. It's not like when it's from like a collection where it's a curated collection of horror or whatever, they'll sometimes do this where it's sort of a well-known curated collection. But yeah, so that's the pedigree-ish. It's not a full pedigree, but it is a pedigree-ish thing. Maybe someday there will be a Comic Collector Geek pedigree. But this is from Atlas Comics 1953, so a Marvel publication. And Zombie, this was his first appearance, but he became a regular publication later on for Marvel in the 70s, where he had his own magazine. And it was called Zombie. So, but this was where he made his first appearance. So it's a Bill Everett cover as well. Just a really cool cover too. You got the zombie coming out of the ground. It's really cool. So that's, and the zombie's real name, let's see if I can read it, is Simon William Garth. And so that's it. That's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed. The next episode is the finale, where I'm going to show the last of the slabs, and a really big Grail book is going to be revealed in the finale. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Which of the books that I showed did you like the most? Tell me in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye for now.